Hey everybody, I'm so glad you're joining us. My name is Lisa Evers. This is Newsroom Live with Lisa, and I'm joined today by my colleague Linda Schmidt, one of the top reporters here at our station and also in the market as well. Linda, great to have you with us.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. We're going to talk with Linda about some scary moments that happened at LaGuardia Airport. We're going to talk about a terror attack in Manchester, England, why it's so getting international attention. And then later on in this half hour, we're going to be talking about Chef G going into do his prison sentence for 5 years. Diddy is back in court tomorrow, a lot with all of those things. But first we want to talk about what happened at LaGuardia Airport. And it's just causing a lot of flyers to be a little bit nervous. But Linda, what really happened here?
Okay, so first of all, you and I were talking about this too, about has there been any history
Right.
of these near misses that are happening at these airports, not just LaGuardia, but airports around the country. And it seems to be there is an increase. In fact, what happened last night? This is just a few months after one just happened at LaGuardia. That was back in May, just a few months ago, and where an air traffic controller had to cancel one flight. Cancel it because there was a risk of that plane colliding with another plane that was about to land. So that just happened a few months ago, and then we have this thing last night. But Deja, let's go ahead and take a look at this video because it is something else what happened there. Now, Delta says two of its regional jets collided while they were both taxiing on the runway. Now, the right wing of a plane that was taking off or about to depart hit the nose in the cockpit of a plane that had just arrived. Now, Delta is describing this as a low-speed collision, but it damaged the cockpit and it tore off part of the wing of one of the planes, and it also injured a flight attendant. Now, her injuries are minor, but there were 32 people on one of the planes, 61 aboard with the other, and both of the planes are operated by Endeavor Air. But, I mean, just think about this, being a passenger on one of those planes, and you're on the runway, and once you're on the runway, you're thinking, gosh, we made it. Everything's going to be good. We're going to, pull right up to the gate. We're going to get off and have a good time. And then suddenly something like this happens.
Well, I think the other thing too, for people not from the New York area or who have never flown into LaGuardia when they've come here to New York, the runways are shorter there. There's like less space for the flights for the planes to actually land because it's surrounded by water. It's in very limited space, and that's a scary thing. The last time I flew in there last April, that we were circling. Then they tell you, like, we're waiting for a place to land, so you're just kind of on. You feel like you're on fuel saver on the airplane, kind of coasting and like going, oh, wait a minute, can't we just land and let me get off this plane? But it's very scary for people, and just people have raised issues about the number of air traffic controllers. That's been a big theme nationally, but terrifying.
It is terrifying, and Lisa and I had talked about this earlier about when you are flying into LaGuardia because that runway is so short and you're looking out at that water and you just think, because I usually sit on a window seat and I'm looking out like, oh my gosh, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna hit the runway? And of course you always do, but it is something that definitely enters your mind. But just to think though that you have two planes that are taxiing, one is about to take off, one is just landed, and we have some animation too.
Oh, to explain how it all happened. Okay, great.
To show exactly how, I mean, just look at that one, and then look at that right wing there. It slammed right into the nose and to the cockpit. I mean, I don't know what.
This is basically like somebody running a light, and the other car is pulled into the intersection.
Good analogy.
They just clip it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. But to think that the right wing went right into that cockpit. Now the pilots were there; they were in the cockpit. So.
Were there any fatalities or serious injuries?
No serious injuries.
Thank God.
Thank God, no fatalities. But one of the flight attendants again was injured, but minor injuries. And Delta is calling this a low collision. That's what their terminology is.
A low collision.
A low collision, yeah. But we do have audio from one of the pilots talking to the air traffic controller. And there is some break in here, some pause in it. So
stay with us.
Yeah, stay with us. It's about 25 seconds long. So Deja, let's go ahead and roll that.
Okay, here's the air traffic controller.
Air 5047, say again? We need trucks on Alpha. The emergency trucks, sir? We have two CRJs on mic that collided. Right, stand by.
Now they use the terminology CRJs.
That's the type of plane. That's the type
okay.
of plane
They said
that
we have
it
two
is.
CRJs that collided.
Right. The two planes, and again, they're operated by Endeavor. For Delta, they are called CRJ 900. So that's what he was talking about. We have two CRJs that collided on the runway.
And then any talk of like further investigation or anything like that, or is it too early?
No, well, the FAA immediately, when anything like this happens, immediately is on the scene, and so they are going to be investigating. And as you know, like you and I have covered these things before in the past, they usually release some type of a preliminary report of their investigation within a couple of months, and then it usually takes about a year before they wrap up and they have their final conclusion for their investigation. But the FAA definitely investigating this right away. But I mean, just imagine being on one of those planes. Imagine being the pilot.
Cockpit and they see the wind coming. And then the other thing too is it's not like a car where you can put it in reverse and back up when you see it coming at you.
Or quickly turn another way.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. Right.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. And so many of these things, you know, so many airports, including our New York area airports, there's so many flights going in and out. There's just tremendous demand for more flights, and so much happening. There's space close together. The air traffic controller shortage that's been addressed nationally,
going on for years,
and that they're trying to address. And it's very scary when people are depending on this mode of transportation so much, so frequently.
Absolutely. I mean, look at how many people fly every year.
Yeah,
I fly a lot.
I do too.
You fly a lot. So it is a little bit scary when you think about it. I mean, look, they will tell you, and it shows in history that flying is the safest mode of transportation. It is the safest mode.
Right.
But when something like this happens, there are so many people on each of those planes that it could potentially be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
It's not just two cars hitting each other on the
highway. Also look at, you saw the different runways, kind of that patchwork that they have of the intersections and everything like that. And I think too, it's, statistically, sure, they'll say you're more in danger when you get in your car or an Uber or a taxi,
on a New York City street and crossing an intersection.
Right, than you are when you're actually in a plane. But I think also too, it's just you're on that plane. Your life is in that pilots and that crew and that air traffic controller and the whole system. Your life is in their hands.
And
so
the plane itself.
Yeah, and the plane itself. So it's just a lot. Well, we're going to be watching it. We'll see if there's any local calls for action here by our local elected officials or state elected officials.
Wait and see what happens. Yeah, but the FAA is investigating.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Linda, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, we're going to let Linda get back to working her stories for the later newscasts, and I want to talk about this incident that happened that is making international headlines. But Linda, thank you so much.
Oh my, of course.
Okay, and let us know if anything happens with that. So there was an incident today in London, outside of London, actually in the city of Manchester, which is in northern England. I've actually been to Manchester, visited there a couple of times for various events and things, and also passing through there at the airport. Which is a big hub for connections into the Middle East and to other parts of the world. But anyway, so what you're looking at right now is video from a suburb outside of Manchester, England. And what the Manchester police are telling us is that as groups of Jewish people were gathering outside a synagogue for Yom Kippur services, and Yom Kippur is the most holy day, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. It's considered the Day of Atonement. You can see some of the tremendous concern here as they realize, okay, that person's okay. What they're saying is that they're labeling it a terrorist incident, is their language, what we would call a terrorist attack. A person drives a car right into the crowd of worshipers as they're outside of the synagogue. Then the guy gets out of the car and then goes on a stabbing rampage and starts stabbing people. So 2 people were killed, several were seriously wounded. And then the Manchester police, which I know have been, because one of the stories I did on them was about the way they were armed, that they were breaking with this British tradition of cops not having guns. They were early on, they were heavily armed because there was a lot of crime issues there. You can see some of these officers here. This is outside of Manchester, England, and you can see them heavily armed as we've seen here in New York City and here in the United States. And basically, the police got the driver who was the stabber. They got him, and then they shot him. He was shot and killed. And there was a bit of a struggle when they confronted him, apparently, according to some of the reports that we're seeing and monitoring here in our Fox 5 New York newsroom and with our international partners. And it's just a terrifying thing. I mean, imagine, think of how many times you're outside your church, you're outside your school, you're outside a synagogue, you're outside a mosque. It's natural for people at those moments, you know, and on those important holidays and holy days to stand around and talk. That's part of the, you know, that's part of the experience of community around religious institutions that is pretty much international. It happens in one way, shape, or form around the world. So the car comes driving in, the guy jumps out, he starts stabbing people. And then there was obviously a fairly quick response from the Manchester police, but now Scotland Yard, the counterterrorism unit there in charge of the of policing in Great Britain, outside Scotland Yard, they were talking about there are 2 other individuals arrested. Now, what we're watching here closely at our Fox 5 newsroom is why were these 2 other individuals arrested? Were they running away from the scene? Were they found with weapons? Is this part of a larger plot? But they're saying it was definitely a terror attack. This group of Jewish worshipers Orthodox Jews were targeted, and this comes at a time for Jews in Great Britain of tremendous concern, because according to the watch groups, they say that since the Hamas incursion and terror attack on Israel on October 7th of 2023, there have been, just this past year, there's been a dramatic rise overall in incidents that have happened, anti-Semitic incidents. But then in this year in particular, the first 6 months of 2025, there has been they said more than 1,500 anti-Semitic incidents in the UK. So that's very disturbing, that kind of number. And when you look at the population and you consider that is very, you know, it's a tremendous concern. It's a tremendous concern for our Jewish communities here in New York, all around the world. And of course, many are in the UK, have been here to the United States. And here in the United States, the NYPD here in New York City, the NYPD is on a heightened alert, heightened watch. They've actually foiled some plots in the past. One of them that I had reported on here at Fox 5, because they are in very close communication internationally with scouring the internet for any potential threats, also for developing research and getting intel on any of these groups that are inciting other people to do these kinds of attacks. So it'll be interesting to see, because they labeled it a terror attack fairly early on. There was also some indication from the deputy commissioner who spoke at Scotland Yard that there was that the individual who was shot and killed by police was known to the authorities. So when they say something like that, what that means is that they typically have information about this individual, that this person may have been previously arrested, this person may have been previously involved in other incidents, or as we would say, the term is criminal justice system involved, is the way that they'll say it if there hasn't been an actual conviction. So they are saying that the connection between these 2 individuals who were arrested, you can be sure that they're being debriefed thoroughly. You can be sure that in the UK they are doing a very, very thorough investigation about this. And the Prime Minister spoke earlier. Do we have that soundbite from him? Anyway, the Prime Minister spoke earlier, and he said that he's going to be convening a lot of top law enforcement to talk about this issue, this deadly anti-Semitism that they're seeing in the UK. But in the meantime, what he has done is ordered enhanced and expanded police presence in Jewish communities throughout the United Kingdom in the aftermath of this. So now the questions I'm asking myself and that I'm looking for answers for, with the information that we're getting into our newsroom here, were they connected to any known terrorist group? Are these so-called independent groups that are inspired to hate members of the Jewish faith? That's what we're looking at right now. But the fact that it was done on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year on the Jewish religious calendar, is extremely significant. The fact that the way that it was done, where driving the car right into the group there, that was very significant to law enforcement. As you can imagine, we've seen this type of attack before, and where members of the Jewish faith have been targeted. And this is what's going on. Just looking at video right now, police are trying to provide safety. You see, they're trying to block them off as they were moving the members of the congregation away from that. But there's a huge police presence in that area outside of Manchester in northern England. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the members of the Jewish community, to members of the Manchester community, and the United Kingdom, and to all members of the Jewish community worldwide, because many people feel if this can happen in one place, it can happen in another, and it already has. So we're watching this very closely. I'm sure the NYPD is in touch with as they typically are, in acts of terror against communities where we also have large communities here in New York. The New York City counterterrorism units are in touch with them, Intel, and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, all of these agencies that have been set up in the aftermath since 9/11 and really expanded communication means, monitoring this and looking for any possible links and other information, and providing information and sharing it as well. So we hope that they get to the bottom of it, and our thoughts and prayers are with the victims' families and with those people also too, what they call in the outlying rings of trauma around this incident, who are experiencing feelings of tremendous sadness and grief over this and over their losses. So we're thinking about you. When we come back, we're going to turn our attention to a couple of big stories here in New York City this week. The Chef G, the rising drill rapper, starts a 5-year prison term. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Diddy is back in court tomorrow. We're going to tell you what's going to happen then. So stay with us on Newsroom Live with Lisa on this Thursday, October 2nd. I'll be right back with you after. Welcome back to this edition of Newsroom Live with Lisa today. It's Thursday, October 2nd. I'm so glad you're with us. I want to tell you about a story I covered yesterday and we've been covering here at Fox 5 for a while. There's a genre of rap music called drill rap that is insanely popular with young teens. Brooklyn has been the big home of it here in New York City, and one of the biggest of them all is the godfather of Brooklyn, Chef G, you see him there in the tan shirt and pants there with a white T-shirt holding the hand of his girlfriend. In front of him, the man in the hat is attorney Arthur Aidala. I caught up with Chef G outside of the courthouse. Let's take a listen. I asked him about kids, what message he had for the kids, and here's what he told me. Okay, we didn't have the audio on that, but anyway, so I asked him about kids because I interviewed him recently, and he told me about some of the things he'd been doing. He's been out on a $1.5 million parole after a gun charge and also a major gang indictment. He was one of dozens of individuals who were arrested in one of the biggest gang takedowns in New York City, in Brooklyn, I think ever. There were 140 count indictment. There were multiple people. They were accused of shootings. They were accused of using stolen cars for these shootings, multiple weapons possession charges. And the police, the NYPD, we were along on one of the takedowns, and the NYPD said that he was so powerful when he was leading this 8-tray Crips and 9 ways, a blood set of gangs in Brooklyn, that when he was in Rikers Island behind bars, he could set off a gang war with a text message. That's how much power he had on the streets. But since he's been on bail for the last 18 months, his actions show that he really tried to turn his life around. He went multi-platinum with some of his songs. He veered more towards what's called sexy drill. Here we can hear him now, I think.
Your big message for the kids from this summer?
So this summer, stay safe, be safe, play safe, and do everything that you dream about. Winner Circle.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
He said Winner Circle at the end. That's the name of his record label and entertainment company. But I asked him about the kids because one of the things that he also did during this past 18 months before he started serving his 5-year sentence yesterday was to speak to kids at Boys and Girls Clubs and some of the community organizations and try to tell them that, listen, you can just go straight to a music career. You don't have to get involved with these gangs. These gangs are not what you think it is. They are not, this is no way to live. It's very stressful. You can end up in prison as he is, or you can end up dead, or you can end up gravely wounded with life-changing, life-altering injuries. But he's extremely popular, millions of fans. He did tours. The court allowed him to do tours. And then yesterday I was in the courtroom. Do we have any of those courtroom shots inside? All right, we're going to show you what it was like. We were allowed to have our Fox 5 camera exclusively inside the courtroom at Brooklyn State Supreme Court. There's attorney Arthur Aidala again. There's Chef G right there. And Arthur was able to get the sentence for Chef G. Prosecutors wanted him to have 20 years. He pleaded guilty to multiple counts of conspiracy and several counts of second-degree attempted murder. He is serving now a concurrent 5-year sentences, which began yesterday. For those charges, prosecutors wanted him to be behind bars for at least 20 years. And the judge said, listen, your evidence was not strong enough to show that he was an actual trigger puller. We're going to give him 5. And then the judge noted yesterday, which goes into his permanent record, especially as he comes up for parole, that he had complied with everything the court wanted. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's now on Rikers Island awaiting transfer to an upstate prison. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with you with more after this. Welcome back to this edition of Newsroom Live today with Lisa on Thursday, October 2nd. We are following a number of stories here in the Fox 5 newsroom for you. But right now we want to turn our attention to, it's been one of the biggest stories. People may be sick of it, but I don't think they are, because I always gauge it by how many people stop me on the street and go like, hey Lisa, what's up with the Diddy case? What's going on? Is he going to get more time? So tomorrow, Friday, October 3rd, is sentencing day for Sean Diddy Combs. Now, if you remember, just a quick review, he was found not guilty of the most serious charges in that big RICO case that was brought against him in the Southern District of New York, in the federal courts there. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking, not guilty of racketeering. He was found guilty, though, of 2 acts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution, which is also called the Mann Act, and that's because of using male escorts as part of these freak-offs. And so what he's looking at right now is the absolute minimum could be, they could give him time served, which has been about 13 or 14 months. He's been behind bars in the Metropolitan Detention Center for about 13 months so far, as this whole process has gone on, because his bail was denied multiple times. And so that's at the bare minimum, and that's of course a scenario his family and his supporters have said that they want, where he's able to just walk out of the courthouse tomorrow after being processed out or whatever has to happen. And that's experts, legal experts I've talked to say that's highly unlikely. And the extreme, if they really wanted to throw the book at him, the maximum for each guilty count, there's 2 of them on this transportation for prostitution charge, is 10 years. So that's 10 times 2 equals 20. So the maximum they could throw at him would be 20 years behind bars. People say I haven't found any legal expert that said that's likely, but it is likely. They're all saying that he will be doing additional time beyond tomorrow and beyond what he's already done. So what the factors are right now are some of the alleged victims and other people who weren't even involved in the case have written letters to the court saying that they're concerned if he comes out that they will experience harm and all of this. And on the pro side, other people are saying his family needs him. His family's been showing up in court for pretty much every single day of every hearing, of the trial, of all of these other hearings that have been going on. And so there's a lot to consider here, and the judge has really had the unenviable task of really trying to do it right down the middle to give everybody a fair shake. The lead prosecutor in this case, just a point of interest, was what she got before she got fired by President Trump, was Maureen Comey, the daughter of the former FBI
to Kicking and Screaming Live. Welcome back. We wore our comfy stuff today. Did you not get the memo?
It's comfy.
Where's your sweatpants?
Well, I don't wear sweatpants.
Okay, like, you don't take the shoes off?
Well, I'm not taking my shoes off.
Crisscross,
They'll run out of
applesauce.
the smell.
Do your
will run
feet
the whole.
smell?
Yeah, because my feet smell.
Well, mine don't. So
I know
I'm
you don't.
bringing
You
them
could
up
do
here.
that. Look how comfy
Okay.
you are. This is like all we're missing is a little fireplace,
That's
a
what
little,
I'm saying.
a little drink.
I'm feeling that fall. I'm feeling the fall
know,
vibes
you
today.
really do. Look
It was
at that
53
outfit.
degrees, and I said,
Yeah,
Satan,
actually,
not
it was
today.
chilly. I had long sleeves on. I was cold.
I know.
I'm an old man, so I get
not
cold
ready for
easily.
this.
I get cold easily, but yeah, I was dying.
Oh, we are full blown into the fall sports
Now
season.
we
This is the
are.
best part. I hate when it gets cold, but this is the
Yes,
best part of the year.
football, baseball postseason, basketball and hockey we starting soon. This is the best time. This time, and then when it's the hockey and basketball playoffs and the NFL draft and baseball. So those are the 2 times. But this is great.
No. This is the best.
No, this is the best. It's
This
not
is
even
the
close.
best.
It's not even close. The NFL is heating up. I know we don't have NFL in our city, but it's NFL is big.
He forgot to say that we do have 2 teams, but you know what?
We have a team and a half.
I reject that statement.
Yes.
I reject that statement because where do they play?
They play in New Jersey.
So are they really New York teams?
No, but they're in the metropolitan area.
Are they really New York teams?
Well, let me put it this way to you. When they win, the New York teams.
When
But
they
right
lose,
now,
they're
New
New
Jersey
Jersey's
can have 'em.
teams.
New Jersey can keep them. So
That
as
is
far as
so
I'm
messed
concerned
up.
right now, that New Jersey Jets and the Giants, we'll see how dark goes. We might take you back, but the Jets, New Jersey can have them.
New Jersey can have them.
Yeah.
That is messed up. Why don't? First of all, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of why we don't have a stadium here in New York State.
They tried.
For our football team to
They
play.
tried in the West Side and they got shot down.
It's a little. It's a little. That's for another day.
The
we
Jets-
don't want to get all riled up
Look,
and all
the
upset.
Jets should move back right next to City Field. Put a football stadium there. You want the soccer stadium? That's fine. Jets,
I like this
Mets. That's the way it should be.
Okay, I
Like
this.
it used to be.
Steve Cohen, you listening?
Yeah, he's going to have the casino. He's going to have the soccer team. Put the Jets there.
Okay, so also we have to shout out the viewers that are watching it. For the one that's watching it always comes through. Our man Dan.
Damn.
We got the comments going, Dan. He's got some pretty good questions today. And the first one: how do I explain to my parents who Bad Bunny is?
How do you do
Benito Ocasio.
How do you do that?
This is last
I got to be honest. I really took a long time to figure out what Bad Bunny was also. I really was a little surprised.
What Bad Bunny is, or
Yeah, like,
who Bad Bunny is?
One of each. What's a Bad Bunny? And then when they told me it's a who, okay, who's Bad Bunny? I mean, I have to admit, when I first heard Bad Bunny, I'm like, what's that?
What is that? You never heard the songs?
No. I never heard the song. No, they got me.
Okay, anyways, Bad Bunny's one of the biggest performers of
I hate
our
her.
generation.
That's what I heard. You know me with these.
Okay, let me put it this way. He dated a Jenner, a Kardashian.
Oh, everybody's dating a Kardashian. That's not breaking it down. That's a list of like 50 or 60 people.
I'm just saying, it's up there.
Which one?
He dated Kendall Jenner.
Well, Kendall actually has taste. And
Okay.
She's with
So
Devin. She's with Devin Booker now.
No, I don't. No.
They're done?
That's done.
Why did I miss her?
Actually, I have no idea. I should not be speaking on this. I have no idea about her dating life right now. So
I
don't
think
listen to
they're
me.
still together.
I don't know, and we probably don't sue me.
Like
the
last week,
Kardashians,
he
please.
told
I
me
have
take
no idea.
McRae, and I'm like, she's dating that guy. She's not dating him anymore. What? I keep
Okay,
listening.
well, I know we're starting a little bit out of order, but since we started with Bad Bunny, because this is all Dan's fault, because you put this question in there, so now you're changing our whole lineup of our podcast, Dan. I hope you're happy. Come on, Dan. Anyways,
Right.
we're going off script here because we're going to start
And it's
with...
also Taylor Swift's fault.
It's not Taylor Swift's
Yes,
fault,
it
but we'll get
is.
into it.
I
Our
mean,
first topic.
Hold on a second.
Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, Super Bowl halftime show. Swift reportedly said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, because you want to get paid. She has more money than God. What, she needs to get paid for the
Okay,
Super Bowl?
I had to do a deep dive into this. It's because she wanted to own the rights of this performance.
Right.
And there's a lot of implications that come from that because she can use it in promotional stuff. She can use it in one of her films down the road. She's got a bunch of those. And they won't let her do that. The NFL has historically said if you are our halftime performer, we own the rights to this.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. Which one? What's wrong with Taylor or what's wrong with the NFL?
I think a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Well, first of all, think of all the celebrities, the biggest music acts in the world that have played the Super Bowl.
Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson.
Oh my God, Shakira, J-Lo, Coldplay, the Rolling Stones. There's been so many of them. You too? Beyonce. And she's going to be different than everyone else. Look, I know she has the army of the Swifties who are about to go invade
You better
Park Avenue.
tread lightly right now, sir.
Well, I don't live on top.
They will come for you.
Yeah, well,
You don't want them coming for you.
They won't know who I am. I'm too old for them.
Well, if
They're
you say,
ready to
if you
take
say
down the
her name
NFL.
out of your mouth, they know where you live. They know
Well,
where you're.
all I
who you
know
are.
is that, listen, everybody else has done it. Is she that big? Is she bigger than the NFL? I think she might be.
She is bigger than the NFL.
Yeah, she might be.
I
actually.
agree with you on
Having
that.
said that, I think she might be.
But I think there's a deeper storyline here. Is the fact that the Chiefs suck. They sucking right now.
Hold on.
They're not going to
hold on.
make it to the Super
They
Bowl.
won last week. They're
Doesn't matter.
2-2. We know where the Chiefs are. Don't count out my boy Patrick Mahomes. He will figure out a way to get him in the playoffs, and then all
They're
bets
not-
are off.
Lou, let's be real. They're not winning the Super Bowl. It's not the same team that played last season.
Well, I hope it's not the best same team because they got crushed by the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. It's
So-
not the same team. They're not making it to the Super Bowl. I think if Travis was on track, if he had a little phone call with the refs, he's like, "You good? I'm good.
Hey.
You need a 50.
Well,
you need
here's the deal
you need
now.
100K. Like we got it in the bag."
Now that Taylor's not playing the Super Bowl, NFL says refs start penalizing the Chiefs. You watch.
No. That's not it. But there was some stuff going on underneath, and we talked about this last season. I said they are being paid off.
Well, now it's going to be anti-Chiefs. Roger Goodell says you don't want to play in the Super Bowl. You don't want to perform in the Super Bowl. We're taking down Travis. It's gonna happen.
That could
That's what's gonna
potentially be
happen.
true. Okay, so the fact that Bad Bunny's taking this over, I feel like he just needs a pop-up performance, a surprise performance by like a country music artist.
Yeah.
We
exactly.
got to marry the two
You
worlds
have to.
here of music.
Yeah.
We got a little Latin spice, a little Latin flavor, a little, Spanish.
Oh yeah. Listen,
Titi mi
there's a lot of
pregunto.
people upset. A lot of things he says. I don't want to get political because I'm not 100%. Really, I don't know that much about it. But a
Oh, I'll
country,
tell you about it. Let me tell you. Let me give you the
a
background.
country music person would balance it out.
Okay, so
nicely.
here's the thing. This is the first time he would perform at a venue like this in the U.S. He said, "I'm not doing any shows in the U.S. because he didn't want ICE to come in
Right.
and raid his concerts. That's why he performed a lot
Right.
in his own country. But now this would be the first one, and also authorities have come out saying that doesn't matter. Even at the Super Bowl, we might come in there,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother issue and topic to talk about. But the fact that some people are coming out saying this is not okay, there's no English songs, and that's not right for a Super Bowl. Really?
Oh, I don't know. All I'll say is this. I'm very surprised the NFL would do something controversial with the Super Bowl. I am. I'm very surprised
Why are
they
you
went that way.
surprised?
Because they normally don't go down this road. They don't.
Are-
They don't need to.
Are you kidding me? Have you not been seeing what they've been doing for the past couple of years? They bring politics into the NFL.
No, but I'm talking
And
about
it's
the
controversial.
halftime show. The halftime show, they've been pretty, they've been pretty like.
Did you
sure
not see
they would-
Janet Jackson's?
Oh yeah, well they didn't know that was coming. Yeah, but the NFL didn't know that was
No,
coming.
they knew it was coming.
That was no way. the NFL
Justin
knew that.
Timberlake knew
No
he was going
way.
to
Well,
pull
Justin
that with a
Timberlake
little.
may have known, but there's
Yeah,
no way the
and
NFL
she
knew.
knew too because she had a little pasty on the nip.
Oh yeah, but the NFL didn't know that.
They knew it.
No way.
They knew it. They said
No
they
way.
said slap us with a fine. We don't care. This is gonna be the most watched thing ever.
Well,
And
CBS
you're right.
got
It's a
fined,
marketing.
though, right?
It's
They
a
got
marketing
fined
thing.
big time on that.
Okay, and I'm sure what they got in return was nothing compared to that fine.
I don't know. I don't think the NFL.
The thing
I don't
is,
think the NFL was in on
If
that.
you be a little controversial these days, honestly,
yeah.
your numbers go up. So I propose that we wax your chest live on Kicking and Screaming.
What?
That's how we get the numbers up. That,
Oh, I love
I
it.
mean, we might have to buy a couple pounds of wax.
Do you know how much hair I have?
I'm just saying
Do you
we
know how
have to
painful that'll be?
we have to be controversial. So either we wax your chest or your back, and we have to do it live. on
Well, I'd rather do my back.
Kicking and Screaming.
I'd rather do my back. It's less painful.
All right, okay, that's where we're Dan. You tuning in for that because Dan's the biggest fan. You gonna watch when we wax his back? I hope so. He better type in that comment section and put yes, I'll be there
I don't know.
with
if
the
anybody-
strips.
I don't know if anybody wants to see that.
We have to be controversial, Lou. We have to step it up. We're not doing
All right.
enough.
Well, if we're gonna do that, I'd rather my back. That's all I want to say.
You
I'd
heard it
rather
here
my back.
first. Kicking and Screaming Live is going to go to full kicking and waxing and screaming in the next couple of weeks.
Oh God! Why do I agree to these things with you?
That's
I always agree to these things.
what can you say no?
No, I
Okay.
can't say no.
Can you say no to Jackson Dart if he asks you on a date?
No. He's bigger than life right now.
I know.
I tell you one thing though, I like the kid. He didn't have a great game, but he just looks like a guy who belongs, and I like that. And I tell you one thing, Giant players got pumped up. Defense played their best game. Crowd was going crazy, and the running back, the other rookie, Cam Scotto, those two guys,
Yeah.
headbutt. First of all, they're both going to have concussion protocol because they keep headbutting each other. So that's going to be a problem right there. But those two kids have brought life to the Giants.
Okay, do you think it's more about them bringing life on the field, or is it off the field antics?
Both.
Like him posting the ex-player's girlfriend, Madison Beer, the
But you know
night
what's
before the
crazy
game,
about that?
and that's a smack in the
Hold on, though.
face.
But he said those remarks prior, like weeks ago. He said those remarks. So either he had an idea that he was going to play that game, or he just decided, I'm just going to keep doing it. So maybe he had one that he said something about Mahomes' wife or Travis, and he held back. No, he said those remarks about Madison Beer like 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so obviously it's playing into his favor because everyone's just like,
Yeah.
again, controversial.
Yeah,
Controversial. What have we learned to the past two topics?
Well, controversy sells. There's no argument.
So,
But there's nothing more controversial than me having my back waxed. That's beyond controversial.
There we go. That's what we've learned. Controversy.
But you know what?
We're
You
saying
know what?
that
Actually, it kind of fits in the whole Halloween theme, so that's okay. Horror show. That would be a horror show.
Yeah, like kind of like one of those naked cats. We'll turn you into that.
Naked
Those
cats.
hairless cats.
Oh yeah, those hairless cats. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
You'd be
That's
here
what he would look.
You need more than a half hour to make me hairless.
We
but
could
that's a
turn
whole
all
different
that
animal.
hair into a nice sweater you can
You
wear
can
after.
sweater. You could probably take care of half of New York's winter wardrobe with that amount of hair.
That's
What are you worried about?
disgusting.
I know.
Oh my God! Speaking about that, I'd rather cover myself with a Jackson Dart jersey than a sweater full of
Well,
your
you better go look
chest
for it
hair.
because it is
Just
the
saying.
most sold out jersey. Every Giant fan is buying a Jackson Dart. I don't even know his number. What's it, number 6? I
don't
think it's
know
number
either.
6. Oh, there it is. It's number 6. Look at
There you
that.
go.
Look at all the cash he's already made. He's smiling to the bank. Old Jackson's smiling. He knows it. Ka-ching, ka-ching,
But
ka-ching.
you know what's even crazy is the fact that he's made over $10 million even before he got to the NFL.
Well, that's NIL money.
Yeah.
I mean, NIL, these guys, I tell you something. I want to be redshirt in college for the next 5 years. And let
Wait,
me get
hold
paid.
on. You could do this. We talked
know.
about this yesterday about a 58-year-old guy
Yeah, it was
going
crazy.
back, being a freshman in college.
crazy.
I don't know what position he played, but he now
he didn't
has
say.
I know it didn't say, but he now has a deal, an NIL deal with Aspercreme.
Well, that makes sense. Listen, I use Aspercreme, so I would like to get a deal with them.
If you had to,
You know, my back feels on this chair. I could use that. I wonder if I can get a deal. Listen, if you have to be like me and sit in this horrible chair for a half hour, use Aspercreme.
First of all, these are comfortable. I don't know what he's
Oh,
yelling
please.
about. These
Are
are
you kidding
perfectly
me?
fine.
These chairs. Well, first of all, where did we get them from? We got them from somewhere out of Goodwill. Where do these chairs come
You
from?
know, take that back. Goodwill's
Oh, you
my
like Goodwill.
favorite.
I know. I forgot.
Goodwill's my. Don't
That's
even
right.
hate.
You're
You
the
cannot
thrift-
hate on
I
Jerry
forgot.
Jones, and you cannot hate on
I
Goodwill.
forgot you're the thrift queen who hangs
Yeah,
out
come
with
on,
rich
what
people.
the
I
heck?
like that. You're the thrift queen who hangs out with
Yeah,
rich
you better
people.
watch yourself right now. Okay, if you had to have top 3 NIL deal contracts with any kind of brand, what would it be?
Well, brand-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, I've screamed works. I'd have to have
Tylenol.
Tylenol would work.
Yeah. Just
Sleeping
maybe
sleeping
Sudafed.
medicine. Sudafed would work. Anything that puts me to sleep. 'Cause
A
I can't. I have trouble.
CPAP mask.
Oh yeah, because my sinuses
Yeah.
are all shot.
I like this. This is very on brand for you.
I would take any one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, you know what? Feel free. I'm up for office.
Maybe some underwears and socks type of thing.
I don't wear
Like-
underwear, so that's good.
Oh, okay. Good to know. He doesn't need that deal,
Oh,
so
okay.
don't worry
So we'll pass
about
on that deal, guys. I don't believe in that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but one person yeah, we do need a break because I was about to start talking about Bill Belichick, and okay. Anyways,
There are rumors
stay
that he doesn't
tuned.
wear underwear
Stay
either.
tuned. We'll be right back after this. All right, thanks for joining us. I know this was a tough minute break for you. I know that everyone was just stressing out, thinking like, where are Lou and Bianca? Well, we're just here to tell you that it's okay. Thank you for waiting for us. We're here for you.
And we
Because
came back to you.
we're all about the people.
And the fact that you brought up back waxing, I still stay in the chair. That's impressive.
Brianna, Back Wax 2025. I think we should turn that into a shirt. If you know someone, I might know someone. We come up with some merch with this. Also, Jay Wayne, they're not kicking it country and keeping it funky. All right. Okay, Jay Wayne, let me tell you a little bit about something country. I'll tell you right now. We need Benito. Why do we want to call him Benito Torres? That is not even him.
Who's Benito Torres?
Benito, what's his last name? You gotta look it up.
Who is it?
Bad Bunny's the real name.
Oh, that's his real name?
Benito.
Oh, no wonder why he goes
something.
by. No wonder why he goes by Bad Bunny.
Well, you thought it was an Easter egg hunt or something.
I went to look. First time I ever heard of Bad Bunny. I went over. I was going to the Long Island Railroad, Penn Station, and a whole bunch of crowd was there. And they were like, "I'm like, what is all these people here?" And they said, "We had a Bad Bunny concert." I said, "It's not even Easter. Why are you guys hanging out to see some Bad Bunny?"
You've never had a Bad Bunny Easter egg hunt?
No, I never heard of it.
Well,
Antonio Martinez Ocasio.
Oh, no wonder why it goes by.
Antonio Martinez Ocasio.
Right.
With a little country twang on the side. I'm just saying, just put a little
Listen.
country music artists up in there so we can play some songs that we all know.
Listen, I had nothing against Bad Bunny. I don't want anybody to come killing me. Was surprised. That's all.
Well, now you know who Bad Bunny is.
Now I know.
And now we can move on to Bill Belichick.
Speaking about a
our
bad bunny,
favorite,
a bad football player,
human being of all time. I love that he's so mobile. I love that he's so
mobile.
he's
Come
just
on,
so
he's
young.
73 years old. He's not mobile.
He's so with it.
Oh,
He's so
please.
stylish.
Look at him. Look at him. That's not
just-
mobile. He looks lost.
First of
all she's missing there is a leash to bring him around the sidelines because he doesn't even know where he is anymore. And you know who's saying that? All the kids in UNC. They want her and him out of town.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
It makes sense. First of all, UNC is not even doing that good.
No, they're
Second
doing
of all,
horrible.
it's turned into like just a sideshow. She's on the field asking him, I don't know, God knows what. She's like, are you
And
going to
why
put
is she
that
on the
corner
field?
in? Are you going to remove him for that safety?
And she's
Jordan,
giving him
get
pep-
off the sidelines.
She's giving him pep talks
Get
on
off the
sidelines. What are we
sidelines.
talking about?
I
here?
don't know. Do I
Look.
go to my boyfriends where I'm like, hey, you're going to add that little to the meter and you're going to... No. Let
No,
your
it's
man
ridiculous.
do his job. I
What
don't
does she
care
do?
about the age difference.
No,
but
it has nothing
get
to do
off
with
the
that.
field.
Why is she on the field? Taylor doesn't run down and give Travis pep talks.
You know, she
so
might.
why is she giving pep talks on the
Honestly,
field? What's going on
He
here?
doesn't need a pep talk. He just looks at her in the stands
That's
and he's
because
like, I know my
she
mission.
keeps saying,
I know my life goal. It's right
Bill, I know you lost it, but that's a football team out there. You need to coach. And
Yeah,
Bill,
it's very weird.
I think Bill's
It's-
lost it.
it's
I don't
very
think I
weird.
don't think Bill has it all up
there. It's
there
a
anymore.
bad look. Get her off the sidelines. Stay off the field. Be in a
His
suite.
legacy is now.
Look at those boots. Those boots weren't made for the field,
No.
sweetie.
No,
They got them high heels on,
Can you
digging
imagine how
in
expensive those
digging
boots
in
were?
that
I
grass.
bet you those boots were expensive.
Don't matter. They're
Oh, look at that.
2 inches below the sod over there,
Yeah, you're
digging
right.
up them holes on the UNC field. Jordan, bye.
Yeah, get her at it.
But honestly, good luck with y'all. I hope y'all
Listen,
love each other
can I
and
say
get
something?
married and share a lovely life
Hold
together.
on. Let me say something. That's depressing, right? That's a depressing situation in North Carolina.
First of all,
But it's no more depressing than what we have up here in New York. New York has become depressing. We're a depressing,
okay, first of all,
Sports
this is all you.
depressed.
I think you need to go to therapy.
I do. I'm a Met and Jet fan. Okay? As every Met and Jet fan out there know, this is the most depressing time we've ever had. Ever.
Okay, tell the fans why. I mean, look
Why?
at misery.
Well, first
loves
of all, the
company.
Mets. First of all, the Mets, best record in June, right in the toilet. Right in the toilet. 3.1 million fans went out there to watch that disgrace of a team that just died on the field.
Okay,
Jets.
well,
0-4. Lose to the Dolphins? The Dolphins? Dolphins
So,
were supposed to stink worse than us?
Lou. You're preaching to the choir. Everyone knows the Jets suck. Everyone
Yes.
knows the Giants. We'll see what happens.
Well,
But-
Dart might give them life, but the Giants right now, 1-3. We're getting excited. Do you realize that we're getting excited in the NFL for one win? One lousy win
You guys-
in 4 weeks. It's crazy.
Okay, first of all, I don't even. Okay, you guys need to turn it down a little bit because I've been a Cowboys fan for my whole life.
You got one win
and
too.
I
Oh, yeah.
don't even. It's not that deep.
You do have a tie.
It's not that
have a
deep.
tie.
You guys, find a hobby.
And by the way, your own one win is against the Giants, so
some
that
online
shouldn't even
dating.
count.
This shouldn't be making you this mad.
Yes, it's
Why
not
is
bad.
it making you that mad? Why is it making Mets fans that mad?
Oh, please. You
Why are
invest.
Mets fans harassing Michael Kay?
Well, Michael Kay said early. Well, first of all, they harassed. You know what? I got to say this about Met fans. You got a little too high on your high horse with Juan Soto. I understand why. Always playing second fiddle to those Yankees up in the Bronx. But you know what, guys? When you open your mouth like that, you're going to get smacked down when it doesn't work. And guess what? Michael Kay smacked you down. Now, Michael Kay, he's a little on the arrogant side, but he was right on this one. I got to give him that much.
I don't see this at all. First of all, Michael Kay, you shouldn't be that bothered by
Oh, he's
people.
bothered by everything.
What? For what?
Oh, Michael
For
Kay
what?
gets bothered a lot. I love Michael, but he does get bothered a lot. He got his radio show, and all the Yankee lovers, they held back. They were all upset. But as soon as the Mets went in the toilet and the Yankees are in the playoffs, that's it. Now, if the Yankees win tonight and they move on to the next round, Mets are going to get more depressed, and Yankee fans are going to be more
guys.
talking trash. Trash!
You guys need to find a hobby for
That is a
any
hobby. Trash
fans.
talk.
For any fans that are that invested, find a hobby.
No.
And when your team loses, don't let it ruin your self-worth.
Of course.
Am I a therapist? No, but I know a couple things.
What's
and this
that?
should not affect your self-worth when your team is
Of
losing.
course it does. It's your whole life and death. People sell their firstborn to make sure the Mets win a World Series. What are we talking about here?
That is insanity.
Jet fans,
That's
you ever see those
literally-
crazies in Jetland? They go nuts. And they've been watching garbage football for so many years. They still come out.
I really don't know how to help these people because
No, there's no
I
help.
said go to therapy, and that's all I can offer.
No, there's no therapy. There's not a therapist out there that can help a Jet
That is
Dolphin,
all
a
I
Jet
can
or Met
offer.
fan. It can't be done. It just can't be done.
Okay, well, we're going to move on from that because we don't like to stay on depressing topics because clearly you guys tune in to not be depressed and probably just to tune in to watch someone's back get waxed. So we're going to move on to something else, a little bit lighter. LeBron James. Well, it depends on if you're a LeBron James fan or
Well,
not.
first of all, look, I love LeBron James. He's the king for so many reasons. He is the ultimate king, okay? And here's the bottom line.
First of all, he's not better than Michael Jordan. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, I could balance that one out, but okay. Just despite that, he does everything. Now, what was the latest thing he did? Look at this. Come on, play that tape, Manny.
Yeah, we gotta get
He's cutting, rapper.
Oh my God.
All right. The kid just owned 1 million subscribers. He's number one on Twitch. So how does he celebrate? He's celebrating by LeBron cutting his hair.
Ziploc bag.
And you know what? How many superstars cut those guys' hair?
Honestly, this might be just as bad as me waxing down.
I like the fans that don't understand that they had one.
This is history right here.
You want me to cut your hair? I can easily do that.
Well, if I could grow it, I actually would, but I can't grow it.
Wow.
Okay, so the fact that LeBron is who LeBron is, and he also gave him an AP watch, which is worth, I don't even know, hundreds of thousands of dollars
And the sneakers.
on top of this. And they're in the color of the Lakers.
LeBron sneakers. Remember, they're the LeBron version, not some cheap Jordan version. It's the LeBron version.
I think Jordan's better, but
Probably
that's
is.
fine. But
It's
that's
probably,
fine.
it's probably actually more expensive. Let's not kid ourselves.
I
But
would say.
that's what makes LeBron the king. He's willing to do things like that. You see him on commercials with the short guy, Kevin Hart. He does all these different things. That's what makes him the king. He likes to put himself out there. And he still can play ball.
Give me an athlete that you can remember that didn't have to do all this stuff and put himself in front of the camera and
What do you mean he didn't have to? He doesn't have to do it. He wants to do it.
Well, it's good for his business
Yeah, of
because
course
the
it is.
more he's seen, and Kai
It's
Cenat's
good for the brand.
one of the highest streamed
Yeah.
guys on Twitch and YouTube and whatnot.
Remember a few years
So
ago when
it does well for
when he
LeBron.
almost tore down the city. They almost shut down the city because the place went crazy.
I don't think people do these things just for fun. And
No, they do it for their brand.
yes. So,
But how many
give
guys
me-
can do? But how many guys can do it for their brand and still have that great brand? A lot of guys
Okay.
can do this stuff and nobody cares. You think they're tuning in to see somebody like Sam Hauser from the Celtics cutting someone's hair? It's not happening.
Guys, we gotta go to the comments real fast because we're going way off here on topic. My name is Freddie Rivas, a viewer of Fox 5 NY, huge viewer of the Noon.
Oh, God, that's nice.
You probably only watch Noon because Lou jumps in every Thursday or
No,
Friday.
I'm sure that's the time he goes to the
So
bathroom.
thank you so much for joining in. And then Brian Racine, good afternoon to you too, Brian. What a polite thing to write in our chats. We were hoping for something a little bit more PG-13, but we'll go with good afternoon. Do or die for New York Yankees tonight. Yeah, we know it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the Yankees are going to win. I hate to say that I'm a Met fan. I'm a Met fan. Cam Schlittler, he's got to be the ace. Grew up a Red Sox fan, that kid. Grew up a Red Sox fan.
First of all, the Yankees have a better record. Why is it being this close to the Red Sox?
It's so close. I mean, they beat them out by a game or two, that's all.
Yeah.
Boston won a lot of games against them this year, so. But you got a kid grew up as a Red Sox fan and has a chance to knock the Red Sox out. You can't beat that. What's that? You're not really. You're a Yankee fan. How are you wearing a Boston hat? I should be wearing the Boston
Guys,
hat.
I'm just gonna say it right now.
It matches your outfit, by the way.
I did a little thing for the Yankees.
What's that?
I'm not saying.
1 minute.
And I didn't really hear back.
A little upset by that, huh?
I am no longer a Yankees fan.
Wow. You're now a Red Sox fan? You're rooting for the Sox?
Might as well.
Wow.
I'm wearing the hat.
That's a
it
big
matches my
exclusive,
outfit.
guys.
That's where we're going.
That's a big exclusive.
That's where we're going.
I never saw you the day. You
Nor
love the
would
Yankees.
I. Nor would I.
Of course, the fact that you're a Yankee Cowboy fan, there's something a little wrong there, but I won't get too deep.
Go ahead. Say it like it is.
Front runner?
I like big teams and I cannot lie. No other big
Nothing
teams
wrong
can
with that.
deny.
I can't even argue that. That's great.
Okay, but we're changing gears over here.
Okay. Well, the Yankees going to win tonight, but I'm not going to cry if the Red Sox win.
You're not going to
That's all
cry.
I'm going to say. I won't cry.
All right. Well, you guys might be crying after you heard that 20 minutes of who knows what we just said about waxing backs and Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. But it's fine.
I'd rather wax Bill Belichick
Tune
back.
in next week. We'll be back with another episode of Kicking and Screaming.
You sure we can? You sure?
Maybe I will bring hot wax with me.
Ooh, wow, that'd be nasty.
Maybe.
Ugh. That could be scary.
Thanks for watching Fox 5's Newsroom Live. We're now joining Live Now's non-stop stream of live and breaking news.
They don't need any help from the state budget. It's a local, self-sustaining economy.
Do you know how they got there? Like, what was the impetus or what?
We convinced the community that we needed to go up with 4-, 5-, and 6-story buildings on Main Street. We got the community to buy into the need for redevelopment zones to attract developers with capital. We used an urban renewal grant from the state of New Jersey to bring in the anchor, which is the super ShopRite, so that we wouldn't have a food desert. These are all things that we need to do and we can do. And by the way, Somerville's not the first. Take a look at downtown New Brunswick. Take a look at downtown Morristown.
Is there concern on your part that siloing off development to more dense areas would deny places like this the opportunities for economic growth?
I believe that it's up to the mayor, the local leadership, to determine how economic growth should take place in their town. But it should not be by state mandate. What was happening here was as a result of a state mandate. Now, I disagree with the local leadership using eminent domain. This was not the purpose or the spirit of the eminent domain law. It was to address blight. There's no blight here, there's open space. And we need open space here in the state of New Jersey. He agrees.
One more.
Charlie?
Question. President put a pause on Gateway. So, Governor Chitterelli, what are you doing in this instance? This is a major economic project for this area.
We've seen shutdowns before at the federal level, Charlie. There's a negotiation that's taking place, but if you take a close look at the Gateway project, which is managed by the Gateway Commission, that project does not stop because of this shutdown. It continues.
How does this affect your campaign? Doesn't she give your opponent the opportunity to say, look, this is an example of how Trump is bringing harm to New Jersey?
I think you need credibility in order for someone to believe what you're saying. I don't think my opponent has a whole lot of credibility at this point.
Have you reached out to the White House or Secretary Duffy just to make sure that there are no delays on this?
I reached out to confirm something what I had believed, and I confirmed it to be true. The Gateway project is managed by the Gateway Commission, and just because there's a shutdown doesn't mean the shovels didn't go in the ground yesterday, today, or tomorrow. That project continues.
Thanks. All right, we've got to do one more here, guys. So thank you very much. Anything else on overdevelopment? Okay, hearing none. Thank you all for being here. We so appreciate it.
Appreciate the coverage, guys.
Thank you.
Important topic.
Thank you, guys.
Charlie, we got the read for you.
So we were just listening in there to some of the comments made moments ago at a press conference featuring Jack Ciattarelli. He is the 63-year-old former state assembly member making his third run for governor, centering his campaign on sweeping tax relief, including capping property taxes for first-time buyers, freezing them for seniors, and making all retirement income tax-free. You see him here. This was an event held in Cranberry, New Jersey. And Ciattarelli there petting some of the livestock that was there, a part of the background throughout that entire press conference. Now, Ciattarelli has promised to lower energy costs by reopening shuttered power plants, shifting them to natural gas, pulling New Jersey out of the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which he calls a costly carbon tax. Backed by current President Donald Trump, Ciattarelli pledging there to be the New Jersey governor, ending New Jersey's Immigrant Trust Directive, align state policies more closely with federal immigration enforcement, and roll back lawsuits filed against the Trump administration. We just wanted to play out some of those comments again because we were following so many of these headlines in terms of the elections that are coming up very soon here. And I want to put up a post from Ciattarelli here on your screen, saying this: shut down facts. Mickey Sherrill is an absentee congresswoman who missed 90% of votes this year and refuses to work with GOP on anything. She voted against a bipartisan plan to keep the government open and fund Gateway. Want to make Trenton even worse? Put a DC politician like Mickey in charge. She is the Democratic opponent to Ciattarelli, being the Republican there running to be New Jersey's governor. And as you can see here, we are still closely following everything having to do with the federal government shutdown today, entering day 2. Taking a live look from inside of Capitol Hill there as the Senate in session today. We had some comments from senators early on today. Nothing happening at the moment right now, but we heard from several of those Democratic lawmakers as well as they continue to talk about their concerns, primarily when it comes to health care and the fact that they cannot get an agreement there with Republicans on that front. On the bottom right-hand side of your screen, we do have a timer there concerning the federal government shutdown. And as you can see, it has been going on for a day, 14 hours, 5 minutes, and now 15 seconds. We're going to continue to monitor all of your top stories on this Thursday, October 7th. We do want to thank you for joining us here. But we are stepping away for a quick commercial break, continuing our coverage after this. Welcome back, and thank you all for joining us here at Live Now from Fox on this Thursday, October 2nd. My name is Corella Hara, and I'll be with you throughout the next several hours, continuing to guide you through the day's top stories, one of them being this federal government shutdown, which continues into day 2. Back out to this live image that we have here on the Senate floor over in Capitol Hill. As we are seeing here, no senators are stepping up to the podium just yet to make any remarks, but we are following this very closely, as well as with this timer that we're going to keep here on your screen throughout the next several days until this shutdown effectively ends. Now going just over a day here, a day, 14 hours, 8 minutes. We are counting it down to the second here at Live Now from Fox. We're going to pivot here if we get some more of those live comments, but in the meantime, do want to turn our attention to a race that we are following very closely. Just before the commercial break, we were showcasing some of the remarks made by Jack Ciattarelli. He is running for New Jersey's governor. And now we're going to go close by over to New York City because the mayoral race there heating up. 3 candidates still in that race, including the Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani, Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa, and then former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent. Earlier today, we did get some comments from Curtis Sliwa. Before I head to those, I want to take this, a post on social media via X, in which Sliwa says this, quote, Mamdani and Cuomo are 2 peas in a pod. Cuomo took aim at merit-based education, saying the city should change admissions at the 5 schools it controls and then put pressure on state legislators. Mamdani is taking aim now, pushing the same agenda. When de Blasio took an axe to our schools, Cuomo either backed parts of it or stayed silent. Now he is on a redemption tour, a chameleon trying to fool New Yorkers. I will expand specialized high school seats, expand gifted and talented, and give teachers and kids the tools to excel. I am the education candidate. We are not letting Mamdani and his mentor Cuomo fail our children again. Let's head out to some of these comments again from earlier today from the Republican nominee for New York City Mayor, Curtis Sliwa.
Where it was difficult to care for them even at that point, and then transfer them into long-term nursing home care units. I remember in following days, people, whether they were Democrat, Republican, or independent, said, this is crazy. This is actually sending these elderly potentially to their death, because remember how people were going, being diagnosed, and then even those that were healthy would eventually end up coming out in a body bag. And yet, the governor would not in any way, shape, or form retreat on that executive order. And from that day forward, he had the responsibility of the deaths of those elderly, numbering close to 15,000. Every step of the way, he never indicated in any way, shape, or form that that order was culpable, or that he had made a mistake, or even to suggest that in the panic that we know consumed that time, when we really didn't know the extent of what this virus, this disease would do, that yes, he, his healthcare czar, and his aide-de-camp, Melissa DeRosa, had made many...
We're listening here to some comments made earlier today from New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa, but we are still prioritizing this federal government shutdown. Heading out live to Capitol Hill there on the Senate floor, where Senate Majority Leader John Thune is making comments.
The Senate proceed to executive session and resume consideration of SRS 412 post-cloture, and that all post-cloture time be expired at 1:30 p.m.
Without objection.
Mr. President, for the information of my colleagues, senators should expect a series of votes at 1:30 p.m. If there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it stand adjourned under the previous order.
The Senate stands adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.
All right, just stepping in quickly there as we heard from Senate Majority Leader John Thune talking about the government shutdown, but really short comments there, and they are just solidifying the fact that the Senate will remain adjourned until 11:30 in the morning tomorrow. So not a lot happening today, but later on we are expecting to hear some comments from Democratic leaders over on Congress's side, including most likely Hakeem Jeffries, as we heard from him just yesterday. They are monitoring this very closely as well. The House is not in session today. It was not in session yesterday either, but they are still holding several press conferences concerning this government shutdown. In the meantime, let's head back to some more of those comments from New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. We did cut him off briefly at the beginning of his remarks, so let's continue to listen in.
It may be very difficult because of his relation by marriage. He ought to recuse himself if in fact he's not able to be independent and autonomous, and leave his deputy secretary to make that determination. But I think everybody needs that. But even beyond that, we know what happened. We know that Andrew Cuomo, in testimony before a congressional subcommittee, both privately behind closed doors and then publicly, claimed that he did not know what was in his executive order. If there's one thing you know about Andrew Cuomo, he's anal. He microscopically knows everything, and he does not delegate. That's been his history. But he said publicly he didn't know what was in his executive order until maybe a month later. Okay, a month later, you still did nothing. People were still dying on your watch. So I think it's incumbent upon him now that he has begun the process of his internal search, to clean the stain off of his record. And this is the mightiest stain of all. He might revert to what his father used to do, Mario. I might add, I knew Mario. Andrew is no Mario. Who was always accused of being the Hamlet on the Hudson because he would sit and he would think and he would dwell and he would delve into a situation and on occasion apologize, do the right thing. Something his son has refused to do other than yesterday. So maybe this will trigger off him saying, whether for political gain or more importantly, just to do the right thing. Yesterday, I apologized to the Orthodox community for what I did to them during the lockdown and pandemic. But now the broader group, the voices of seniors, that he has labeled a Republican right-wing conspiracy against them. Please, if you know the Arbini brothers, as I know them in downtown Brooklyn, they're about as liberal as you can get. I remember when I went to the gathering commemorating the death of the 15,000 and stood with my adversaries who were all running in the Democratic primary. I remember how Peter and his brothers said that their first votes were for Mario Cuomo, running for mayor in 1977 against Ed Koch. And then for Mario Cuomo, running for governor in the Democratic primary in 1982 against Ed Koch. That one he won, the mayoralty he lost. So stop this. It's not a right-wing conspiracy. It's not a Republican conspiracy. I think one thing we can all agree is I am the most active on the campaign trail. I go into the most number of neighborhoods. I'll give you just a little thumbnail sketch last night. I was in Baisley Pond Park, the community center, addressing black female issues that are unique to their community. Most of the crowd there that Cheryl Willis was the moderator for, from New York One, were elderly African-American women. I can't tell you afterwards how many of them said, I can't get over the fact that Adrienne Adams, who represents that area as the city councilwoman and the Speaker of the Council, has told all of us that her own father died as a result of that executive order when he was transferred out of Elmhurst Hospital, eventually to succumb and die like so many others. That was the number one thing from what should have been a very favorable crowd to Andrew Cuomo. By the way, neither he or Zoran Mandami showed up. Afterwards was the 10th day of a Hindu holiday. I went to a nearby Hindu temple, paid respects to them. And afterwards, many of the elderly women came up to me and likewise said, I can't get over the fact that Andrew Cuomo will not take any responsibility for some of those who died from this temple as a result of being transferred into long-term nursing home care units. If he intends to become mayor with now 33 days to go, I can only warn him as an adversary. This is probably the biggest issue that I face on the campaign trail. In ethnic areas, black areas, white areas, Asian areas, it doesn't matter where I go. It's the number one question that is brought to my attention by the senior citizen community, and as you know, they vote. They vote proportionally in greater numbers generally than millennials and Gen Zers did, except in this past primary where Zohran Mamdani won. So today, I not only appeal to Andrew Cuomo to do the right thing, meet with voices of seniors, talk to them, listen to them as they cry in pain, and then sit down and do the right thing. And just as you did a video to the Jewish Orthodox community on the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, and acknowledged you were wrong, acknowledge you were wrong. Acknowledge you were wrong. You finally have broken through to the other side. Stubbornness, arrogance, being omnipotent, being vicious, vindictive, waging in vendettas. Who knows? Just maybe in the last 33 days, he's had an epiphany and turned a leaf. So I've handwritten a letter